Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this video, we are going to check out Polygon's price chart. And if you remember, in the previous video that we talked about the short-term price action, I think it was like 2 videos back, we said, okay, you need to pay full attention to this important area of demand. And unfortunately, we did get a break of it. And back then I said, if we break this level at that point, we should probably count on some more downward price action. Question: has something changed, and am I going to now consider a bearish possibility, suggesting maybe from here we're going to get a big move down in Polygon in order to set new lows and take the lowest low all the way down here about like $15.5? The answer is no, at least I would say not yet. Why? Because overall I still think this is a slow and choppy move on the downside, and here is the evidence for it. Let's just measure this move down very quickly. Okay, this is so far taking us about like 75 candlesticks. On the other hand, in only just 40 candlesticks, we managed to have this big move on the upside. So from my point of view, this means in this phase in Polygon, most likely bears are not really in full control, and bulls odds are do still have the upper hand, and I'm hoping that soon we get a very strong bounce back. Question is, when is this move down going to end? And I think we should seek answers based on classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances. And I think the only area of demands that we could possibly find in here is from daily time frame, and one is right around the 21 cents area. There we go. And the other one, I believe it was in here, yes, around like 20.2 cents. Now this is the key, pay attention. In Polygon, if we are looking bullish and optimistic, and if this is truly a 1, 2, 3 correction for 4, and we're going to get another move up into wave 5, okay, then we shouldn't really get a break of these important supports. Why is that? Because under here, I really do not find a whole lot of strong supports, and odds are, if you see something like this, very strong and sharp move down in order to get a break of these levels, at that point in Polygon, you need to have your eyes on this important level about, let's say, 17.5 cents. And if we take the lows in here, well, okay, at that point, you're just going to argue, look, this is just a simple 3-wave movement, an ABC, maybe even a WXY. I'm going to say this is most likely an ABC zigzag, and our move down is going to continue, and in it, we're going to take the lowest low all the way down here about like 15.5 cents. But sure, this is your ultimate bearish sign. However, the first important major one is going to be breaking both of these support levels, because if bulls do still have control over the price, then okay, we shouldn't really see Polygon breaking the supports. Okay, from these areas, ideally we want to see a bounce back. Now, what is happening in like very short term specifically, and I'm doing this just for the sake of educational purposes, okay? I do not believe, at least right now, there is a trading opportunity in here. Sure, this move up can be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulsive structure to about this point. However, I don't believe that in Polygon we're going to go straight up. No, if you want to count on another move on the upside, I think first you need to consider a rather deep move down in order to reach to somewhere around these levels about like 21.5 cents. Why is that? Because when this move up happened, it was a little bit too fast, and as a result of it, in 5 and also 15-minute time frame at the same time, we created some important gaps. And since I believe gaps 95+% of the time are going to get filled, and since this does kind of look like a head and shoulder structure, okay, from my point of view, makes sense to argue maybe in like very short term, like in the next couple of hours, we may see a 4 to 6% move on the downside in Polygon. And if we are bullish, and maybe this is actually the low of our correction, then okay, after this move, you want to see a very strong and sharp move on the upside. Why? Because if the low is already in, then okay, odds are this specific move up is going to be into a wave 3 and 4 and 5. And well, one very important characteristic of a wave 3 is being very strong and sharp. So if you want to know what is going to happen next right in here, you need to see probably a move down first, and then after it a move up if you want to be optimistic and say there is a chance this point is actually our final bottom. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Polygon's price chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.